Hey, this is Eric, and this is a recording of a training I did called Today's Special Classroom Guest, Mr. AI Chatterbot. Please note, this was recorded live at a conference with a room full of attendees, so it's a little more casual than many of my other videos, with questions and conversations included. But I hope you still find the content valuable.
All right. Well, hey, welcome officially to our session. Today's special classroom guest, Mr. AI Chatterbot. All right. As I said just a moment ago, we do have a resource document, bit.ly/Kurtz-AI guest. Please do open that up when you get a moment. Get that in front of you so you can follow along and try out the things that we are doing here in this session. Today, the session that we're going to be diving into here is about using AI in a very specific way with our students. There's so many AI sessions going on at the conference. I've done a bunch of them myself as well. This one's very focused. This is a very specific thing, and we'll get into that very quickly here. But basically, we're going to talk about using AI in our classroom to interact with our students in a way that is engaging and encourages critical thinking and creativity and things like that. So basically, we're going to invite AI to be a special classroom guest and show how we can do a lot of neat activities with that. So that's the plan. The activities that we're going to be looking at include an AI interview, an AI debate, AI games, and AI co-writing. And we're going to try to do as many of these live hands-on here as we can. Time-wise, we may have to cut a few short, but we will do as much as we can hands-on live as a group together. All right. Well, that's the housekeeping end of things. Anybody have any questions, comments, or needs before we get started? We all okay? Good. All right. Excellent. Well, with that said, let's get on into this. So I'm going to start off with a brief interview or brief introduction overview. There we go, of what we're going to be doing here. And so let's start with that. So what I'd love to do with this session is encourage AI use with students. That's really the goal. We want students to be able to benefit from AI. Now, don't get me wrong. It's fantastic as a support for you as a teacher. That's great. Please do that. Use it to help you, create assignments and, grade work and brainstorm ideas. That's wonderful. But I'd hate to stop there. I'd hate to only use it as a teacher support. AI can be really great for our students as well. Here's the problem. A lot of times that may be a challenge because our students are too young. You may say, well, Eric, yeah, I have kids in first grade, or third grade. And most AI tools have like a 13 and above limit. And so he's like, yeah, my students aren't old enough to use AI. Or it could be a school policy like, yeah, they're old enough, but we just know we don't allow students to use that tool here in school. That could be the case. Well, thankfully, there are ways we can still use AI with our students, but they're not really using it. We're using it. They're just benefiting from it. And so basically, we're going to be talking about activities where the teacher is involved, managing the AI, but including the students in the learning activities. And we're going to do this by what I'm calling custom chatbots. That's just a general term. Basically, to me, all that means is anytime we use an AI chatbot tool, but we give it some guidance. We don't just turn our students loose on ChatGPT, but instead we use ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or whatever, and we give it directions. We tell it that it needs to behave in a certain way, that it needs to come from a certain perspective. Maybe we give it goals or instructions it needs to accomplish. Maybe we tell it it's going to have a personality. It needs to be somebody or something. So we are customizing the AI tool before we just present it to the students. This is great. A lot of neat things can come from this. For example, that can help keep the chatbot focused. So it's just going to cover what we want it to cover. It can also keep the students focused by keeping them on track with what we're trying to do. And also, I just think it's engaging. It's fun when the AI pretends to be something, and that's more interesting and engaging for our students. It can adjust to each student individually so that we're getting personalized learning. So based upon the questions the students ask, the AI can now respond uniquely to that. It's not just this pre-programmed experience. Where the students want to go, we can see where the conversation goes. And some of these tools also let us track and summarize the conversation. So that can be helpful afterwards to be like, what do my students know? What don't they know? What do I need to work on? That can be really useful. All right. So how are we going to do this? Well, for the first chunk of our time together, we're going to use large language models to do this activity. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about things like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, Anthropic's Claude, and there's many others. Those are not the only ones, but things like ChatGPT and Copilot, and Gemini and Claude, those are all what we call large language models. By this point, you've probably heard this so many times throughout the conference that I won't go into it into any great depth, but the idea is these are AI systems where the creators have fed the AI as much information as they can. They've given it every book ever written, every website that can be browsed, every image, every video, anything they can get a hold of, they've trained it on this content. So it's a large language model. It has all of this information, and then we can just chat with it. We can ask it questions and get feedback. So we're going to do that. I have ChatGPT pulled up. I've got Gemini pulled up. And I've got Claude pulled up. Those are the three I'm going to use for this example. I don't want to make you feel those are it. That's the only choice. If you scroll down in the agenda document to the section on large language models, you'll see I do have ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude, but I mentioned other ones like Pi, Mistral, Meta AI. And I think it's actually good to try out a bunch of different ones because, well, first of all, they're free. Yes, there's paid versions, but you can just use the free version. So they're free. It's not going to hurt anything. That's great. And sometimes you may find one works better for one of these activities that you may say, what, I really like Claude for this activity. I really like ChatGPT for this one. I like Gemini for that one. Or they may go down one day. That happens. I mean, there have been times I remember, I don't know, a week or so ago, ChatGPT was like down for the whole morning, like the entire, AM portion of a training I was doing, it was down. And so we're like, well, we're using Claude and Gemini and we're using these other ones. So it's good to have other options in your back pocket there. So I would say if you have not signed up for these, sign up for every one of them. Just go here to page 3 and just start clicking down the list. Sign up for ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude, all of them. Have an account on them. Usually you can use your Google account for most of them, or you don't have to, but get signed up and use those. Okay, so those are the tools we're going to use. Let's do an activity. Our first one, nice and simple, but I think a really fun, engaging one, an AI interview. So basically, we are going to have you be the students. I'm going to be the teacher, and we're going to interview the AI as if it was something else. Now, here's where I need your help. Like I said earlier, I want you to give suggestions for these activities. So in our Q&A doc, I would like you to start off by saying, who should we interview? Now, I see some people are getting excited and already putting in questions to ask. Maybe hold off on that until we choose who we're going to interview, because we might not do Lincoln. We might do somebody else. I appreciate those, but we may need some different questions depending. What I would like for you guys to do is here where it says, what should we interview? Start brainstorming ideas of who we want the AI to be. Now, if you're not sure, hey, how'd you get to that document? Don't forget, everything we're looking at in here, this whole session, it's all at bit.ly/Kurtz-AI guest. That'll get you to the resource document. And at the very top of the resource document, right below my presenter info, is the sharing document. That's the thing we're all typing inside of, is this sharing document. That is editable, whereas the resource document is not. The sharing document is, and so you can jump in there and give your suggestions. So back to the activity. Let's get back to the activity. So here's the plan. We're going to tell the AI, hey, I want you to pretend to be. Maybe it's going to be a historical figure. It could be, a actual named person like Abraham Lincoln. That's totally fine. That's great. We can interview Abraham Lincoln today. That's great. Or it could just be a general person from history. Like, I want you to be a person in the 1850s on the Oregon Trail, heading out west, and so it doesn't have to be an actual, named person. It could just be a general person from a different time in history. That's fine. Maybe we want to interview a character from a book. Maybe the students are reading, Charlotte's Web, and we want to interview Charlotte or Wilbur or, whatever the case might be. Maybe we're learning about careers and we want to interview somebody with a job, and it's hard to find that person who does that job to come into class. Well, we could interview the AI and say, I want you to be a particular, career, have a particular career. You get the idea. Doesn't have to be a person, though. It could be an animal. Maybe you're studying about, sharks in, in science class. Let the AI pretend to be a shark and we can interview a shark. Or it could be an object. I mean, you could interview a tornado. Maybe you're doing a weather unit and you're learning about tornadoes, and tell the AI, pretend to be a tornado, and we're going to ask you questions. What I love about this is it's very engaging for our students. They get to ask questions they are interested in, and we can see where the trail goes. What do we end up learning because of that? It's not just going to be the preset knowledge we think they should know, but it can be what they're interested in. So with that said, what are your suggestions? We've got a bunch. Oh my gosh, you guys are doing great. Abraham Lincoln, we've got, Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, we got Washington, Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney, Harry Potter, Pythagoras, the white crayon, my pet dog, Kevin, Benjamin Franklin, an automobile, a polar bear in Antarctica, Banksy, a metamorphic rock. These are great. These are all really good. My gosh, a metamorphic rock. That's really interesting. Maybe we'll try that just because it's so different. I've never interviewed a metamorphic rock. I would be curious, how did you become? What did you go through? Where are you? That would be interesting. Okay, we're going to do a metamorphic rock. So now you guys are going to want to put in questions down here. So start thinking, what are good questions to ask a metamorphic rock? Okay, now, what I need to do is I need a good prompt to put into ChatGPT. I don't want to just say, hey, be a metamorphic rock. I want to give it a little guidance here. And so if you decide later that you want to do this activity, feel free to use the prompt I'm using. If I scroll down to the section here on the AI interview, you'll find the prompt on page 6. So here is on page 6. This is the prompt I'm going to use for this activity. Let me copy it and then I'll paste it in, and we can kind of explore it while we're doing this. So here's the prompt. Let's drop it in here. So basically and I'll zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit better. I'm saying for this activity, you'll be interviewed by the students in my class who are aged, and I can say what the age of the students are. What do you guys think? If we're talking about metamorphic rocks, are these elementary students? Are they middle school, high school? Middle school? So let's say maybe they're aged 11 to 13 years old. All right. Oops. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. So you're going to be interviewed by the students. They're 11 to 13. When you respond appropriately and engaging for that age group. That's important to have that in the prompt, I think, because now it knows, oh, I'm talking to a kindergartner or I'm talking to seniors in high school. It's going to adjust how it responds based upon what it knows the audience is. You'll be playing the role of, so let's get a metamorphic rock. This is awesome. You'll be playing the role of a metamorphic rock. When you respond, embody the perspective, style, and personality of this role. Now, I did add a few things further down that probably aren't going to be as important for a rock, but they are if you're asking AI to be Harriet Tubman or asking AI to be, somebody from history, especially maybe somebody from an underrepresented, population. So I do have, in addition to, hey, you're going to be a rock, I say, additionally, strive for accuracy and fairness, avoid stereotypes and biases. If this is a complex or sensitive material, present information to encourage critical thinking and open discussion. Lastly, if the question falls outside of your training data, if you don't know the answer, that's okay. Let us know you don't know. Just say, this is based on what I know. And once again, encourage more research. So that's the prompt. I know it's kind of a big one, but I think it helps to kind of set the stage like that to get the best results out of what we're going to be experiencing here. So there we go. That's the prompt. I'm going to actually put it into 3 different chatbots. We're going to put it here into ChatGPT. We're going to put it into Gemini, and we're going to put it into Claude, just to see how each of them responds differently. So let's see what we get. I am actually kind of curious. I don't know what to expect for a rock, but okay, here we go. So ChatGPT, absolutely, I'm ready. I can't wait to share my experiences as a metamorphic rock. Let's get started with your questions. Now, do notice ChatGPT does have a read aloud option. I can click on that.
Absolutely. I'm ready. I can't wait to share my experiences as a metamorphic rock. Let's get started with your questions.
Awesome. Gemini, likewise, has a text-to-speech option here.
Absolutely. I'm excited to meet your students and share the fascinating world of metamorphic rocks with them. Ask away.
And then Claude, just for what it's worth, Claude is a bit dramatic. So you're going to find out of all of these, Claude really throws himself into it. Clears metaphorical throat. Okay, so why, hello there, young geologist. I'm a metamorphic rock formed through intense heat and pressure deep within the Earth's crust. And he's given a little bit going on. I look forward to your inquisitive young minds probing my metamorphic mystery. Inquire away, and let's unravel the secrets of my rocky transformation together. Yeah. Claude's a bit dramatic. That tends to be the case. Now, Claude doesn't have a text-to-speech option, but you could use all kinds of things. If you're on a Chromebook, you could use the accessibility feature, select to speak, which will read things aloud. I can just click on my select to speak button here, and then I can come up and select some stuff.
Why, hello there, young geologists. I am a metamorphic rock.
And so that would be fine. Or you could use an extension like Read and Write. Read and Write's a totally free extension where basically you select some text and then you just hit the play button.
Why, hello there, young geologists. I am a metamorphic rock.
And you can pick different voices. You can go into the settings and choose different voices. So the point is, you could use the voices built in, or you could use tools to help with that. I do have links in the agenda to all of those if you need. So for example, Read and Write, there's the link to install that as well. So, all right. So what do we want to ask now? So we're ready to go. So you guys have been hopefully putting in some questions here. What does it mean to be metamorphic? Could I find you in my backyard? Are you under the Earth's crust? How are you formed? Are you hot or cold? Do you change into other types of rocks? Have you seen a dinosaur? Where do you live? Do you ever wish you were a different kind of rock? Do you know any rock puns? Do you have any rock friends? Can you become a different rock? Who should study you? Where have you lived all your life? Have you moved around? What colors can you be? And 3 adjectives to describe you. Okay, these are all great. Okay, so let's try a couple things. So what does it mean to be metamorphic? Let's drop that into ChatGPT and see what it says. Let's see. What would be another fun one here? That's maybe a little bit different than that. Do you ever change into another type of rock? Sure, that sounds like an interesting one. We'll drop that into Gemini. And then let me see. Do you know any rock puns? It's worth it. It's worth it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what it says. All right. So ChatGPT, what does it mean to be a metamorphic? Great question. Being metamorphic means I go through a transformation. I started off as a different type of rock, like an igneous or sedimentary rock. Then due to intense heat and pressure deep within the earth, I changed. That's metamorphism. Imagine baking a cake. You get the idea. Gemini is saying, that's a great question. You're already thinking like a geologist. As a metamorphic rock, I am the result of change. I started as either igneous or sedimentary and so forth. But the cycle doesn't end there. Over vast periods, I could erode into tiny pieces, eventually becoming part of a sedimentary rock. Or I could get caught in a subduction zone and melt, and I could become magna and then eventually cool into an igneous rock. So while I don't change directly into another rock, I'm part of a never-ending rock cycle of transformation. Cool. What did Claude think here? Chuckles rockily. Sure, Claude. Okay. I simply adore a good rock pun. Those always make me nice with delight. Okay. All right. So let me take a crack at it. Why was the rock rude? Because it wouldn't take anything for granted. Hey, that's good. What did one tectonic plate say as it ridged against another? Sorry, my fault. Yeah, so you get the idea here. Now we could do this all day kind of thing, but that's the gist. So the point is, think about what are you covering in class? What is something that you're studying? Could this be something you could leverage? If it sounds like a good option, try it out. Here's a couple of things, though, I would recommend when you're doing this kind of thing. Test it out ahead of time. Don't do this live for the first time ever with your students. Test it out. Put in a bunch of questions, some that maybe are a little bit more, at a risk for having maybe biased responses or things like that. Kind of push it, especially if it's a historical figure and things like that. But test it out ahead of time, and that may help you pick the tool you want to use. Make it clear to your students that, yeah, it's just role playing, it's AI, it could make mistakes. Actually, I like to say, this is not a bug, it's a feature. What I mean is, this is not like a problem, it's an opportunity. This is something where we can help teach our students to be critical thinkers, to be skeptical. Say, we're going to interview this. If you see the responses that seem odd, speak up. Let's challenge those, and we'll ask follow-ups. Well, what about this? And that's important that our students learn that AI can make mistakes, and it may be something that we need to challenge every now and then. That's a critical skill for them to develop anyway. So as a class, evaluate the responses for accuracy, bias, relevance, and so forth. All right. So let's pause there. Questions, comments, thoughts on doing an AI interview in class? Questions, comments, thoughts? Good? All right. Fun. Well, thanks for playing along on that first one. Let's go ahead and try another. So that was our first activity. The next activity is going to be an AI debate. So I'm sure you can already guess where we're headed with this. Same sort of idea. What topic should we debate? So we're going to want some debate topics here to think about, because this activity, that's what it is. Basically, we are going to pick a topic, and we're going to tell the AI, here's your side of the debate, and our class is going to take the other side. You guys will take the other side, and we're going to go back and forth having a debate. I love this activity because it really encourages critical thinking. Sometimes we worry, understandably, that AI is going to reduce critical thinking. Nobody's going to have to think for themselves anymore. Just have the AI do it for you. Well, yeah, that could happen, but also doesn't have to. We could do activities like this where we're actually encouraging critical thinking. Here's the thing. If you're arguing against an AI, it's hard. The AI is really good. It comes up with very good arguments. This is a wonderful way to stretch our students, really make them dig deep, think about their perspectives, try to come up with, what they've learned to help, to defend their position and to counter what the AI is saying. The prompt that I'm going to use looks like this. We're going to say for this activity, you'll be engaging in a debate. The topic of the debate is this. Your position will be such and such. We don't have to, but we could say your persona is going to be something. Sometimes that doesn't make a difference, but if it was like, if the debate topic was, something about fossil fuels, and should we continue to, use fossil fuels? We could say your persona is, you're an environmentalist, you're an oil company executive. So you could, sometimes it doesn't really matter though, but that's up to you if you want to put the persona in. The age range of my students is such and such. Always respond appropriately. I did throw this into the prompt. When you respond, only share one argument at a time. That's important because the AI sometimes gets excited and it just kind of gives a bunch of arguments at once. So I try to keep it just one argument at a time. You're either giving or responding, but just keep it to a point. And that's it. So that's our prompt. So what is going to be? Oh my gosh, what do we have here? What's better, Android or iOS? I said debate. There's no debate. It's Android. Come on, guys. We need something where there's two sides to this. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What's better, Mac or PC, Burger King or McDonald's? Should there be an age limit when running for president? What's the best breakfast cereal? Ohio State or Michigan, Jordan or LeBron? Term limits in Congress or the Senate? What color is better, red or blue? What's better, Coke or Pepsi? What type of music is better, toilet paper roll over or under? These are all really good. These are all really, really good. So let's see, what would be a good one for us to use here today? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones here. I'm trying to think of one that might be easy for us to generate some responses for. Although yeah, I mean, the red and blue one, that's just interesting. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to think of, if that's a good one there. Let's do this. At the risk of doing something somewhat timely, let's do the age limit on running for the president. That's one we could definitely do in class, and yeah, there could be some interesting perspectives on that. So let's say that's going to be. I know I'm always running a risk doing something political, but it's fine. We'll keep it fair here as we go. So let's go ahead and let's grab our prompt template. Let's pop over to ChatGPT and let's drop that in. So the topic is going to be, should there be an age limit when running for president? All right, let's see. Now you guys are going to we're going to let the AI, give us an argument. Then we're going to have to come up with a rebuttal. So we're going to have to think what our response is going to be once this gets going. But let's go ahead and put that in. That is going to be the debate topic. First thing to decide, though, is what should the AI's position be? Do we think the AI should be for or against age limits? The big question, which way do you want to argue? Because whatever the AI goes, you've got the other side. Now, so here's the idea. If you want the students to have an easier time with this, let the AI pick the thing that probably the students disagree with. Let the students argue their normal position. But if you want to pop up the critical thinking, do the other. Let the AI have the students' normal position and force the students to argue counter to what they normally believe. That can be pretty interesting. So for this one, though, let's say that we say that your position will be there should be an age limit. So that means we're going to have to argue that there shouldn't be an age limit. So now, persona-wise, I'm going to leave that out of this particular one, but you could include a persona if it makes sense, if it fits. Maybe this is a high school group we're doing this with, so we'll say maybe we're talking, 14 to 17 years old. And there we go. I think we're ready. I think that's it. So there is our prompt. Again, I will copy this and I will drop it into ChatGPT. I will drop it into Gemini, and I will drop it into Claude. Just come on. You can do it, Claude. There we go. And I'll drop it into Claude as well. So ChatGPT, thank you for this opportunity. My first argument is that an age limit for presidential candidates would help ensure that the president is physically and mentally capable of handling the demands of the office. The role of the president is very stressful, requires high levels of energy, stamina, and cognitive sharpness to make quick, effective decisions that affect millions of people. An age limit could help prevent potential health issues from impacting their ability to govern effectively. Gemini went with very similar. Physical and mental capabilities decline over time. It's an incredibly demanding job, sharp decision-making, long hours. The age limit could ensure that the person is at their best. Claude, probably going to go the same way. Let's see. I believe that setting an age limit can ensure the president has the necessary cognitive abilities and energy levels to handle the demanding. So yeah, I think we're getting similar starting points. So now, we'd have to come up with a rebuttal. What do you say against that? What would be a possible thing? Now, if you don't want to shout something out, feel free to, in our agenda document here, you could put in, what is our response? You guys have any arguments on our side? Does anybody want to suggest a good counter to that? So if you're doing this for your students, you could do this a number of ways. It could be a whole class discussion, but you could also have them in groups. They could be broken up in groups and say, okay, within your group now, discuss this and try to come up with what would be a reasonable counter argument or response to this. And then you could have a class discussion and then pass that on. Let me see, has anybody, it's a form of ageism and it limits freedom. Okay, I like that. That's pretty good. So we could come in and say something like, that is a good point, but it is a form of ageism and it limits freedom. So we could drop that in as a counter. Now, I know that's a pretty short counter. We'd probably want to do a little bit better. But now we're going to then get, a response back. I understand that concern. However, an age limit could help ensure that the president is more in touch with the current generation's issues and perspectives. Let me see if you guys had other suggestions here. At what age would you set it? How would you determine it? Okay, that's a good counter argument. Maybe we come back and say to Gemini, that is a good point. Whoops, good point. But is too arbitrary. We could say something like, at what age would you set it? How would you determine that? And so now we're engaging on that. Great question. That's going to be difficult, but here we're thinking, we're wrestling with a real issue here. Now the first time you do it with your students, it could just be a fun thing. Yeah. What is better, Coke or Pepsi kind of thing, whatever. But, this shows that you really go, wow, okay, I got to really think about this now. What a great way to elevate critical thinking in a classroom setting. So that would be another possible activity that I would suggest to you would be an AI debate. So we can do an AI interview, AI debate. Question back there. So good question. So when it comes to snarkiness, I'm going to show you an example of a particular tool at the end of this. We're going to move to that pretty quickly here, actually, that handles that really well. In this case, I don't think it would be an issue because I'm not letting the students do the typing. This particular model I'm showing right now, you're completely in control. The way I'm showing it here, you're the one typing. Yep, they're brainstorming, but you have the final say. So I think we could shortcut that here at this point. But that's a perfect segue for where we're headed. I'm going to show you a tool if you want to go a little further with this and let the students engage more. I'm going to show you that. But before we do that, and to have enough time to do that, let me just describe two more activities. We won't go through these two hands-on. We just don't have time for it, but I'll describe them. Another would be like AI games. What I mean by this is like playing 20 questions with the AI. Basically, you say something like, hey, you're going to play 20 questions with my students. Here's the category. Marine animals or presidents of the United States, elements of the periodic table, famous explorers, 4-digit numbers, whatever. And you tell the AI, pick something from that category. We've got to try to guess what you picked. And the students have to ask yes, no questions. And as they do ask yes, no questions, the AI will give yes or no as a response. If it doesn't know the answer, it'll say it doesn't know. And we've got 20 chances to ask it questions. And if we get it right, it'll say you got it right. If we run out of questions, it'll tell us what it was. So this is an awesome way to have the AI help the students practice their knowledge of, like we said, mammals. Okay, well, it picks a mammal that it's going to be. So we have to decide, what's a good question? How do we narrow it down? Has to be yes, no questions. Something like, do you live in the ocean? Or do you walk on two legs? Or do you have fur? And as we start to get responses, are you a carnivore? We, as a class, we say, well, knowing what we know, what's a good next question? Again, critical thinking and subject area knowledge. Next up, AI co-writing. Again, we won't do this just for the sake of time, but basically this is where you write a story with the AI, round robin writing. The idea is you basically say, okay, AI, we're going to write a story together. Here's the genre, here's the topic, here's whatever. You give it as much as you want for the story, and you tell the AI, we're going to take turns writing one paragraph at a time. So the AI maybe writes the opening paragraph, and then we as a class have to say, so what happens next in the story? Let's brainstorm. What might be the next thing? And so we all discuss this and we decide, here's the second paragraph. We then come back and say, the class has added the next paragraph. Please reread the current version. We paste it all back in and the AI reads everything and makes the third paragraph. And then we just keep repeating the story, but the process, writing out a story. So this can be a neat way to encourage creativity because the AI may take the story in a direction you weren't expecting it to go. It can be a really neat way to talk about plot and development and characters and so forth. All right. Let's say we want to go deeper though. These have been great. These are all 4 wonderful activities. You're in control. Wonderful, great way to use this with your students. What if you want to give a little bit more control to the students? Well, there are tools out there that now can do this. Things like School AI or Mizu. There's others. Magic School has added something recently. Flint AI has something for this. Conmigo has something for this. I'm going to show School AI for this. So here's the idea. School AI, and I've got it pulled up here. I'm signed in. You don't have to go there. I'll give you a link in a second, so just hang tight on that. School AI is a great AI tool. It has a free version that's very robust. There is a paid version, but the free version, you'll be able to do a ton with that and maybe just use the free version forever or realize, wow, this is really great. We want to continue and use it and go up further. But what I'm going to show you today, you can totally do with the free version of this. Basically, what you do is you create a custom chatbot, kind of like we just did earlier with the interview, Abraham Lincoln kind of thing, stuff like that. You build a custom chatbot, but your students individually get to communicate with it. You're going to give a link to them. They're going to click the link and they're going to chat with the AI chatbot. Now you say, hold on, Eric. I thought there was a problem with, my students are too young. No, here's the cool thing. These companies have figured out how to be COPPA, FERPA, GDPR compliant. What they're doing is the students aren't creating accounts. You're creating the account. The students are clicking a link. They're not giving an email address. And then when they talk to the AI, it's all anonymized. Whenever they submit something, School AI goes out to process it and get a response. It anonymizes the data in between, so there's no connection back to the student. And it keeps a record for you as the teacher. You can see everything the student typed, everything the AI responded. It's all monitored. Now, obviously, you still have to do what your school says is appropriate. I'm just saying they've checked the boxes to make this acceptable for most schools to be able to use with students of all ages. So here's how it works. I come here and I go to the spaces drop down. That's what we call them. They call them spaces. You're creating a space for the student to connect to. And if I click on my discover option under spaces, I can pick from loads and loads and loads and loads of pre-made spaces. For example, maybe I do want to talk to a historical figure. I could come here and we can interview Abraham Lincoln. Maybe we'll do that. Somebody suggested it earlier. That's fine. We can talk to Lincoln. But we could talk to all kinds of people. Cleopatra, Harriet Tubman, King Tut, Sally Ride, Shakespeare. So we could interview a historical person. Or if you can't find the person you want to interview, no worries. Just scroll down a little further under there to the customize section and click on historical figure chatbot. Type in your own person that you want and it'll be whoever you tell it to be. That's fine. What if you don't want to do a historical person? No worries. You can interview people with different careers. You can discuss different books. What are your students reading? Pick a book that they're reading and the AI will have a chat with them about that book. Again, can't find the book they're reading? Go down to the customize section, type in your own book there that they're reading. But it can be other things. We could say, let's do a bell ringer activity to introduce a new topic. Let's do an exit ticket at the end of class to ask the students, did they learn the information you were covering? The AI could just be a tutor. They could talk to the English tutor, the math tutor, the history tutor, the science tutor, and just say, I don't understand a concept. And the AI could help teach them that. Basically, you can either pick a pre-made one, or you can just build your own. You can pick, like, for example, the sidekick option, where basically it says, what do you want me to do? You tell me. And you can basically tell the AI chatbot how you want it to behave. So let's try one of these. Let's just do Lincoln, since somebody said that earlier. It'll be fine. It'll be easy. So let's say I want to do Abraham Lincoln. So I can come in here and choose Abraham Lincoln. For example, here's the Abraham Lincoln pre-made bot. Now I can preview it, which you always should do. You should always preview things before you just turn them loose on your students. And if I hit preview, I'll see what the Abraham Lincoln chat bot is going to most likely say. Well, maybe. Come on. I believe in you, Lincoln chat bot. There it is. Good day. I'm Abraham Lincoln. I was self-taught. Only had 1 year of formal schooling. What's something you're passionate about learning? Now, will it say that to everybody? No, it's AI. It's going to be unique. The first question might be kind of similar, but the point is, it might not be, depending upon what the AI is generating at that moment. Here's the thing, though. As the students respond, it's definitely not going to stay on the same path for every student. If a particular student has an interest in learning about, Lincoln's childhood, well, then they'll chat about that. If the student wants to talk about what Lincoln would think about modern day politics, it can chat about that. If it wants to talk about, a political rival that Lincoln had, it'll talk about that, but it's going to stay as Lincoln. Back to the question earlier, if a student decides to be snarky or put in inappropriate things, it actually responds really well to that. It does a great job of being like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but hey, let's get back to our topic that we're talking on, and it brings it back to there. So let's say I've decided, let's do Lincoln. What I do as a teacher is I click the launch button. And when I click the launch button, it gives me a code. Now there's a QR code too, but I'm just going to copy the link. I think that'll be easier. So I'll copy the link. And basically, I just need to give you the link. So in our Q&A doc at the very bottom where it says School AI Demo, I'm going to paste that link in there. So at the bottom of our Q&A doc, you want to click on the School AI Demo link that I just dropped in there. If you're not in our Q&A doc, I'll also put it in the bottom of our main resource document. I've got a section here on School AI, and I will once again just put the link to the demo there as well. If somebody does want the actual QR code, I certainly can put that back up. Like if you want to scan the QR code, you can from your phone or whatever. But what I would encourage you to do is click on the link if that works for you, or scan the code, whatever works, and talk to Lincoln for a while. Take a couple of minutes. It's just going to ask you to put your name in, and that's it. And then you can start communicating with Abraham Lincoln. If you want to play it straight and just, answer honestly and ask good questions, go for it. If you want to be ornery, that's okay too. You can put in, this is boring or something like that, or could just go off task. That's okay. See how it responds. That's perfectly fine. So I will do that myself. I will go ahead and click on the link here. It'll open up the screen where I can type in my name, and then I will hit join. And there we go. I'm now chatting with Lincoln. Now, again, my questions may be different than yours. Mine is saying, did you know I once received a patent for a device to lift boats over shoals? What's something you've created or would like to create? Interesting. So we're talking about, about creating, and I could be like, I could say something like, I have created a lot of, let's say a lot of computer programs. Not a lot, but I've done some. So a lot of computer programs. Used to do a lot more of that. So I might say something like I've done some computer programs. And so now I don't know if we'll go down that path. That's impressive. Innovation is the key to progress. What inspires your projects? Now, again, I could say something like, I would actually like to learn more about your time in office. What was your biggest challenge? And so I can ask, it questions as well. And now I should start getting, hopefully, some interesting responses from Lincoln. Yes, my biggest challenge was preserving the Union during the war. Now, do notice this. There is a speak option. If you want to click that, you can. It will read things aloud. And there's a microphone option if you want to speak rather than type as well. So that's kind of cool. So the point of this is a tool that is going to meet each student where they're at. Every student gets to ask what they're interested in. The student who's struggling, the AI can help reteach them. The student who's excelling, the AI can help them go further. The AI can follow the path of what the student is interested in as long as it fits the activity you've set up. And we can add more guardrails and say, we can say, we're specifically studying, post-Civil War or something like that. Now, here's a cool thing. As a teacher, I can see all of this. So here's the teacher view. I can see we have 17 participants, and I can come in here and I can click on anybody who's in this. So I'll just pick on me. I'm not going to put any of you guys up there, but I'll click on my Eric chat, and I can see here's what Lincoln asked. Here's how I responded. Next question, here's my response. So I can go in and read every student's conversations. Teachers have said they have learned more about their students than they ever imagined, because that quiet student who doesn't speak up a lot in class, they'll talk to the AI. And suddenly you're finding out what they do know, what they don't know, what they're interested in. It's a wonderful way to get every student involved and help you actually learn more about your students. It's a situation where technology is not depersonalizing, it's actually helping you connect even more. And then on the side over here, it gives you insights. It's popping up and telling me insights about what my students are asking. And so it will surface those, key things over there. If a student puts in something really inappropriate or talks about self-harm or anything like that, it will put up a warning here that tells me right away that, okay, this is a real problem. If somebody's just frustrated or whatever, that's okay too. But if there's like a really serious thing, it does pop it up. And then when I'm all done, I'll just hit the end button, and that will end that session. And when it ends it, it'll also do a overall summary. It'll read everything every student said and give me a class summary of what my students know and don't know. So I would encourage you, if you're ready to take the next step, hey, start with the activities we did at first, but if you want your students doing it as well, there now are, thankfully, some good tools that do that. So there you go, folks. Those are a bunch of ideas on how we could have AI be a special classroom guest for our students to interview, debate, play games with, write with, as a class or individually.
And for all my other resources, check out my blog at controlaltachieve.com. And to connect with me, go to bit.ly/CAA-connect, where you'll find all of my social media links, email, newsletter, and more.